So I'm just recording this because two of the participants aren't able to be here tonight, so they will watch the recording and make their meals. So I'm not sure if you can see behind me, but what I like to do is I just spread all of my meals around my kitchen, and then we just go one at a time and we make each meal until all 7 are done. The only meal that required you to cook anything beforehand was the tater tot beef shepherd's pie. The hamburger should have been cooked before and cooled. If you didn't do that, you can do it at the end, or you can start cooking it now, wait for it to cool, and then add it in at the end before you throw it in the freezer. Are we good with that? Okay, there was a couple of supplements. The Tex-Mex spice no longer exists. It's called Everything Taco now. Similar seasoning, a few different ingredients. And then the sun-dried tomato oil is no longer. It was a seasonal thing a couple of years ago. So we're going to use garlic infused oil instead. I've done this with both of those and they taste fantastic. I just have to grab my
The chicken was cooked too for the tetrazzini, wasn't it?
Yes.
Okay, thanks.
I'm cheating. Hello. I'm cheating because I actually do have Tex-Mex left in my stash. But you guys are going to use everything taco. So the first one we're going to make is the tater tot shepherd's pie. So you should have a recipe. If you don't have it on your computer, if you printed it off, it looks something like this. And it walks us through step by step on how we're going to do it. Hi, Shannon. Don't rush. I was late too. Amy woke up. It's great.
This will be a first, watching a funeral while I'm doing a freezer workshop.
I hear you. I hear you. Okay, so we're gonna do the Tex-Mex, and if you already have your hamburger cooked with your onion and your garlic, it should be in a large bag right now. And we're going to add all of our ingredients to this large bag with our hamburger, our chopped onion, and our garlic cloves. So the first thing you're gonna add in is 2 cups of frozen peas. And I'll show you guys what I use for as far as like supplies goes. So I've got my prep board set up here. This is a new product. And it does come with the prep board itself comes with 2 dishes. So you can see here, I've got one set up here on the side and I've got one set up in the back. The one on the side I'm going to use for my compost. The one on the back is what I'm going to, after I've cut things in, push into. And then they come with some really great lids as well for storage. I'm using some right now. We made some apple cinnamon muffins on the weekend. There's vented lids on them, so you can close them or opening them, depending on what type of food you're using. And there's also a drainage piece in it that you can put down. So if you had fresh berries that you don't want to sit in water, or like carrots or celery, you put that on the bottom and then you put your stuff over top. So that's what I'm primarily going to be using. So I've bought you some time. So we're gonna do 2 cups of frozen peas and carrots, frozen peas and carrots. And kitchen shears, if you don't have them, you need these. I cut everything with these. Everything. So you're just gonna take your 2 cups of your frozen peas and your carrots, and you're gonna put it right in with your hamburger. And then 1 can of petite diced tomatoes. And our can opener. So smooth edge can opener I see happening over there, beautiful. And we're just gonna open those up and you're gonna put those right in there undrained. So it does say about 1 3/4 cup or 425 milliliters, and I have a large can, so I'm only gonna use half of my can because I have the big one. So I'm realizing mine are not the petite ones. They're just regular sized diced tomatoes. That's okay. And then we're gonna add in 1/3 of a cup of tomato paste. And Shannon will know this. Sometimes I go quickly. It's because I've done this a couple of times. If I'm going too fast, just let me know. And I've had people join in sometimes with like 2 recipes already done and they just kind of go back and do the recipes after. Mine wasn't catching on the can, now it is. No, it still isn't. There we go. All right, so 1/3 of a cup. Looking for my measure all, but it's right here. So if you have any questions at all, just stop and ask. Really good thing to do with leftover tomato paste. If you are not in my VIP group, you probably haven't heard this. If you're in my VIP group, you've probably seen me do it a lot. What I do is any leftover tomato paste, if there's a large amount, I'll take my smallest stainless scoop and I scoop it onto like an individual stone or my small stone and I throw it into the freezer. I let it freeze. And when the little balls are frozen, then I just put them in like a little Ziploc bag and I leave them in my freezer for the next time I need tomato paste. A lot of people would just throw that away, but that's like 4 tablespoons of tomato paste that's still in there. And sometimes a recipe only needs a tablespoon or 2. So it's a really good way to save it. And with Costa groceries, you kind of want to save everything. I'm gonna see if I have any in there, but I don't. And I just leave it right on my door and it's there every time I need it. Okay, so now we're on to our spices. So 2 tablespoons of the smoky applewood and 1 tablespoon of the bell pepper. I know I took my smoky applewood out here. There we go. All right, adjustable measuring spoons are going to be essentially what I use to measure all of our spices tonight. So 2 tablespoons. So the biggest one adjusts from 1 tablespoon all the way down. Sorry, 1 teaspoon all the way down to 1 tablespoon. So we're going to put 2 of those in. You can smell it as you're pouring it. It's delicious. Mine's a little, there we go. And then 1 of the bell pepper herb. And then 2 tablespoons of balsamic vinaigrette. And I'm going to use our petite measure for this one to do my liquids. And then that way there I can do all liquids in my small one. And then I've got my spices in my adjustable measuring spoon and I've got my measure all as well. You want to kind of try to keep as many dishes clean as possible. So you're not stuck with a lot of dishes at the end.
That's like shooter size. I've never seen that.
Yeah, it's a super little one. It holds 4 tablespoons, which is like the same size as this little mini measure all.
Okay.
Easy read measuring cup. So they hold the same. This one was in our outlet. I'm not sure if it's still there. But if not, this little mini easy read holds the same amount. It's shooter size. How many ounces? too big of a shot for me, but it would be 2 ounces, so it's like a double. All right, so once you have that all in there, all you're gonna do is knead all of your contents together. So you're just mixing it all in, and then Shannon's ahead of me, so look at her go. So mix it all in, knead it all together. And then once you're like satisfied that it's fairly well mixed, you want to get as much air out of the bag as possible. Depending on how you're storing it, this one's good to kind of like squish it this way to make it really flat. And then get the air out. So I just kind of squish them together and then push all along the bag to get as much air out as possible. And then what you do is you take everything that's together and you pop it inside oh no, sorry. We have one more step to do. 4 cups of potato nuggets have to go into the bigger bag. So like your sweet potatoes, 4 cups.
Okay, so I have to ask you guys, how much did you pay for tater tots? Because I didn't buy them because they were almost $6 for a bag.
Ooh. I gotta turn my volume up here just a sec. Where's my volume?
Superstore had them on sale for $3.49, except the real tater tots were gone. So I got bistro potato nuggety things.
I want to say mine were like $4.59, and I got the McCain tasty taters. I'll have to go back and look and let you know, but that is insane.
Must be nice to have Superstore girls. Oh wait, you live in civilization.
Technically only 13 years. Yeah, that was a very anything.
Can't
Yeah.
hear you. So
Was the love
I did an online order and picked it up.
with him by those who knew him.
Crystal's doing math. She's checking
the
her
love he had
receipt.
for his blended family, which he
I don't
jokingly
think so.
Brady Bunch.
Yeah, mine were the McCain for $5.79.
Okay, let's compare. PEI.
I'm with-
right?
At least they're bagged separately. I can just add the bag later, right?
Yeah, you could even add it the day of that you're cooking. McCain tasty taters. Oh no, I did pay $6. Didn't even notice. I knew I just needed them. Okay, so then what you do is you take both your bags and place them into a large bag. So if I was like really on top of things and had like one of those vacuum seal machines, I would, instead of using so many bags, I'd probably compress it into one, but this way here, it does keep all of your like meat separated, and I always put the meat in the bag first in case there was like ever any leaking or anything. And then the taters go on top. And then you should have seen in the paperwork that there's these little day of cooking sheets, one for every meal. I just cut those into squares and then I pop it right into the bag so that I know exactly what I need to make every meal going forward. So then again, get your air out. And then I always write on the front of the bag what it is and what date I made it on in case it gets lost at the bottom of the freezer. You're on mute.
I'm gonna make supper now.
There you go. Oh, that's a good one. That one was a good one from the last one. The only one I have left, and it's because I'm kind of scared to try it. It's the black bean burger one. Because I know the kids won't eat it. I think my husband would love it and I would love it. We just haven't made it yet. So that's the last one we have in our freezer. So then I just take,
Exit out the
Sharpie?
rear right gate
and we are October 3rd.
in uniform wishing to observe
And
may
then-
exit from behind the uniform lines.
Oh,
All persons,
and
please follow.
then you get your date and you've got your instructions, and then that's your first one done. Just set that aside. Next up's gonna be our Tex-Mex meat loaves. So if you need to gather your ingredients, go to town. So you do need a hamburger, cheese, an egg, an onion, a green pepper, ketchup. Ooh. We have had like the daycare plague go through our house. Okay, so you're gonna start by using a little mixing bowl. I've just got my 2-cup prep bowl. And what essentially we're doing is making like the barbecue sauce for the meatloaves. So you're gonna put 3/4 of a cup of ketchup and a tablespoon of your Tex-Mex, AKA your everything taco seasoning. And you're gonna place 1/3 of it in a small freezer bag once you get it combined. So 3/4 of a cup of ketchup. And if you do have the 2-cup prep bowls, you'll see that there's like a 1/2 cup marker and a 1 cup marker, so 3/4 would be right in the middle of the two. There we go. And then you're gonna add in 1 tablespoon of your seasoning. And mix it up. And then you want to take 1/3 of a cup and put that into a medium bag. You can estimate it, or you can pour it if you are like follow the ingredients right to a T. You're gonna take a small Ziploc bag. There it is. And you're just gonna put 1/3 of a cup.
Okay, so does it need to be in a bag that big? What are you doing with that later? Or could it be in a snack bag?
It can be. Can definitely be in a
Okay.
snack bag. I just don't have any.
Okay.
Later, if you're gonna use this as the topping. After you've done the meatloaves, this goes on top. So it can definitely be in a snack bag. Okay, so we need 1.5 cups of restaurant style tortilla chips. And you're gonna place that. Reading the wrong one. Into a medium bag as well. And then you're just gonna crush them. So you can crush them with a rolling pin or your hands, whatever makes it easier. Meat tenderizer, any of the above. And then again, this could go in a snack bag if you didn't want to use a big medium one, because once it gets like really small, it's quite petite. Press the arrow, seal that. Now, your large bag that has your ground beef in it, so it should have like a cup and a half of ground beef in it for this recipe. We are cutting the tops off of our bell pepper, removing the seeds, and then wedging the peppers. So if you have the scoop loop, that's a really good tool to use for the hair. There's a couple of different ways that you can cut peppers. Go. I do like to cut the tops off because there is a little bit of extra pepper. If you just go right around the top, you can get more pepper and not waste as much. You're gonna add those in, and then you're gonna wedge your other ones. If you have the veggie wedger, that's a great tool to do, or if you're using a cutting board, you can just cut down. And you're gonna add that in. And we're not gonna put it in the bag yet. I'm just gonna set it aside because I'm gonna cut my onion as well. And then I'm gonna use my food chopper to chop both of them up because you want them really small. If you don't have a food chopper, just cut them finely with a knife. Or if you have the Rapid Prep mandolin, you could feed it through twice. This isn't gonna help the kids sleeping, but try to be not loud.
Okay, anybody got a trick for getting the skin off your onion? Because these are annoying.
So when I'm doing my onion, I normally just chop the top and the bottom off and then peel the skin off. All right, so this is what I love about these prep boards. Everything went right into that dish, and then I'm just gonna pour the dish into my bag. There we go. There. So we've got our onions and our green peppers all chopped up. You're gonna add those into the bag. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're going to add in 4 ounces of cheddar cheese, which you have to grate. The crushed tortilla chips, an egg, and the rest of the mix. Okay. So we're gonna take out our grater. And this is all going in the big bag. So I never know how much 4 ounces of cheese are. So I just grab our scale. Turn it on. Switch it to ounces. There we go. 4.13. This is the size of the chunk that I cut. That was 4.13.
Do you know what it is in grams?
Yeah, I can tell you because I can switch it in here. 116 grams.
Okay, so half a bag of 320 works for me.
Yep, exactly.
Because that's what's left in the fridge.
Pardon?
That's what's left in the fridge.
Hey, that's what we make work. So our graters do come with pushers and protectors. So you don't cut yourself. Like what I'm not doing. You can definitely use those. So that's going in, and then you're going to add in your Tex-Mex sauce, and you're actually gonna add in the crushed tortilla chips as well. So they didn't even need a bag of their own at all. These guys. You can reuse that bag later. If you've already put it into a bag, I'm just gonna put it aside. And then the rest of the sauce from your bowl that you mixed up is going in. And 1 egg. And then a tablespoon of Tex-Mex seasoning. Or everything taco. And then you're doing the exact same thing as we did last time. Okay, so we're gonna mix it all together.
So you said the tortilla chips go in there too, right?
Yeah. The chips went in, the cheese went in, an egg went in, and a tablespoon of Tex-Mex.
Thanks.
No problem.
Okay. Geez, that chopping took a little longer. Okay, what's in here? We're putting more Tex-Mex in
Yeah, 1 tablespoon.
of the everything taco.
Yeah,
Okay,
1 egg,
got that. I need
and
the chips,
your crushed up chips.
my crushed chips.
And then this is where you get to make a decision. After you've kneaded it all together, There's two options for prepping this for the freezer. If you prefer to have individual loaves, you can break your mixture up into 4. And you can make 4 little meatloaves and freeze them like that. Or you can freeze them all as one and have a family size meatloaf. So we prefer the all as one because I will make it in our what's it called? Loaf pan. There we go. Stoneware loaf pan, just as one. So what I do is I just squeeze the air. I try to form it into like a ball as much as I can. So that it's nice and round. And stuck together. And then I squeeze the air out of this. And then I just pack it up as a whole one. But if you want to make it 2 or 3 or 4, however, depending on how many people you're feeding, you can take out your mixture by scooping it and make it an individual loaf and freeze them in individual bags. So it's up to you how you want to do that. I'm gonna do 1. So I have it kind of rolled like a loaf. And then I'm putting that into my protection bag with the little bag of sauce on top. And the instructions. So if you guys are making individual ones, just let me know and I will pause so that you can take the time to do that. I'm going to set up my next ingredients. Okay, number 3 is barbecue pork sandwiches. So you need your pork tenderloin, a large freezer bag, a medium freezer bag, a cup of ketchup, a small peeled onion, smoky applewood, and balsamic. Now pork tenderloins were on sale when I did groceries. I'm quickly gonna rinse my 2-cup prep bowl because we need a bowl to mix in again. The sauce is somewhat similar in the sense that it's a ketchup base. Just the seasoning is different. We good to go at number 3? Thumbs up? Thumbs down? 1
So I
minute.
just realized my pork tenderloin, there's 2. Do you normally cook both of them in this or just one?
I had 2 as well. I went based on weight and the weight gave me 2 small ones.
Okay.
So I'm gonna cook both. We'll probably have leftovers, which is fine. I'll take them to work.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. Okay, so in here, 1 cup of ketchup. Three tablespoons of smoky applewood. So when we're done this one, your full jar of smoky applewood will pretty much be gone. So just be cautious of that. By the time we're done with it, there's not much left. So 3. Music in the background. And then 3 tablespoons of balsamic vinegar. And you need 3 tablespoons of brown sugar as well.
So do we need the smoky applewood for anything else?
Yes, but it's not a lot. Where was that? Maybe not. Yes, for the broccoli cheddar soup, but it's only 1 tablespoon. There should be at least 1.5 left when you're done.
My 1 tablespoon won't fit, so I'm using the teaspoon to measure and yeah, okay.
Gotcha.
We'll see.
Ration it a little bit.
We'll ration it a little bit. That's enough. Okay.
All right, 3 tablespoons of balsamic. And then 3 tablespoons of brown sugar and mix it all up. I need to get brown sugar.
And Rogers is on strike or something's going on there.
What was that, sorry?
I saw something on the news the other night about Rogers Sugar. So
Oh.
that could be hard soon.
So if you have never seen these before, these are our brown sugar keepers. So they're made out of terracotta. And what you do is I need to put a new package in here soon. So when I put a new package in, I take these out, I soak them for like 15 minutes so that they get moist again. And then when I put my new pack in, I bury these into the brown sugar. And as long as it's in a sealed jar, your brown sugar won't get hard. So it comes in a pack of 2. I'm just scraping some off of my keepers. All right, so 3. Now, if you're like me and your bowl is really full, just slowly stir it until it all dissolves together.
Yeah.
There we are. And you're gonna put 3/4 of that into a medium bag. And the 1/4 goes in with the meat. So 3/4
Well, I'm
goes,
glad you said that because I was going to pour the whole thing in.
yeah,
Okay.
The
3/4.
3/4 does fit in a snack bag, Shannon, if you want to use a snack bag.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Glad you caught me before I went.
I'm reusing the bag that I squished the chips in.
Okay. Snack bag. Well, we're not really measuring. How much went in there? How much did you have left over, Bobby?
I measured.
Okay.
Oh,
Like
so
here's my snack bag. I don't know if you can see it. The lights behind me are terrible.
kind of
like it-
full?
Mostly fills it with a little bit, yeah, ish.
Okay. Give it a little more. There we go. Close enough.
Yeah,
It's yummy.
it is very yummy. It's like a barbecue sauce. And then the rest is gonna go on the meat. And you're also going to wedge an onion and put that in with the pork tenderloin as well.
So big onion pieces this time? Bigger?
The onion's gonna cook with the pork, so it almost like caramelizes it with the barbecue sauce on it. You really don't taste it.
My kitchen fairy isn't here.
Mine either. He's out there watching the show.
Onion.
And then knead it all together. If you're at that step, I'm not. Mess the onion.
What are you using to wedge your onion? Is it the same thing that you use like for an apple?
You could use that. I just used a knife this time around.
Yeah.
But we do have. This product right here that's called a veggie wedger. I'll use it to show you. So what it does is it
Okay.
does look like the apple wedger, but it's specifically for things like onions, potatoes, green peppers that will wedge it. I'm just gonna fight with my onions. So all you do is you pop the onion on there. It lines up here. And you push down.
Yeah. Cool.
And then throw it right in. So when I'm kneading it together, I'm also breaking my onion up a little bit so that you don't have like huge chunks. And then get all that air out. And then the reason you're double bagging this one is just to make sure that nothing like leaks out or anything, and that you can put the card in so you know how to cook it the day of. So wrap it, bag it, put that extra sauce, 3/4 cups of sauce on top. And then your recipe card. And we're done 3. All right. Next up is the creamy turkey tetrazzini. I have to do a little cleaning.
Good job, Tony. Canned mushrooms.
Ew. Oh.
right, so for this one, we need our garlic infused oil. We need our garlic and herb spice. We need 2¼ cup of turkey or chicken. I have chicken shredded. An additional large freezer bag, an onion, a jar of mushrooms drained and rinsed, sliced mushrooms, and a cup of frozen beef. This one comes together pretty quickly. Okay, so you're gonna open the bag that has your chicken or your turkey in it, whatever you chose. And you want to wedge your one onion with the veggie wedger. I'm glad I took it out now, it is quicker. I don't love onions, and there's onions in every single one of these recipes, but I like all of these recipes, so it's interesting. These are really fun to do when you're like in person too, when you get everybody together, but they last about like double the amount of time because you're talking way more than we are right now. We're like workhorses right now.
Well, I just put an egg in because I was following the wrong recipe. Oops. But I scooped it out. Yay.
Okay.
Okay, which one are we on? Tetris me. Let's get the right piece of.
Okay, so you want to chop your onion with the food chopper or the manual food processor. You want to get it as small as possible. So I wedged it, now I'm chopping it. Your jar of sliced mushrooms, drained, goes in. You will have plenty of garlic infused oil left over, which is awesome. All right. How are we doing?
Okay, so I don't know where my peas are, so I got peas, carrot, corn, and beans, whatever.
That's okay. That'll give it some added flavor.
What's the next thing we're using here? We don't have sun-dried tomato. What are we using?
Garlic infused oil.
The oil. Okay, and then
Garlic and
herb.
herb seasoning.
And then do we need the canola oil?
And 1 tablespoon of canola oil. Yep.
Okay, so we're using the garlic infused instead of the sun-dried tomato herb oil.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're going to use 2 tablespoons of that.
Go play.
And then 1 tablespoon of the canola oil. And then you have 1 tablespoon of garlic and herb. Spice. And then you're just going to knead it all together and place it into a large freezer bag, insert your instructions, and that one's done. So on the day of for this one is when you would add your spaghetti noodles, your sodium broth, like your low sodium chicken broth, water, and Alfredo sauce. So those are like your day of products that you need would be your Alfredo sauce, your chicken broth, and your spaghetti noodles. And then it makes a really yummy chicken fettuccine. The feeling when these are all done and you're putting them in the freezer is like amazing. You're like, I have 7 meals. All right, there's number 4. So number 5 is chicken chilaquiles. Chilaquiles.
We renamed that for you, Michelle. We're calling it, what is it, Bobby? Chicken chicka wow wow?
I love it. I'm gonna name that on my bag. Chicken chicka wow wow. Okay, so you've got your bag of cubed chicken or diced chicken, however you cut it. Southwestern seasoning. 8 cups of whole tortilla chips and 6 ounces of Monterey Jack cheese blend. And I am like, was it Bobby that said she didn't like cilantro? Somebody said they didn't like cilantro.
Me.
I'm that person. Yeah, I'm with you. I didn't even buy it. I don't even care that my other family members like it. I didn't buy it.
Shannon said she was going to eat my amount.
Well, she can have mine too.
You're that. Ugh.
You don't think it's spicy?
Tastes like soap.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
on mute.
Oh, you need to go to like California and have a glass of wine and some good pico. And with the cilantro, OMG, it is so good. I didn't used to like it. And we also put it when we have, there's 1 or 2 curry dishes we do. And we'll put cilantro on top and peanuts on top. And it just makes all the difference in the world. It
You
really
can make
does.
that for me at Christmas.
Okay.
Okay, so in a large bag, you're gonna put 8 cups of tortilla chips. You're gonna squeeze out as much air as possible, and then you're gonna crush them. So 8 cups.
Okay, so I was gonna make potatoes with this one bread, but the potatoes don't look very good.
So our largest easy measure all is 4 cups. So I need 2 of those easy measuring cups.
I was really dumb in prepping all of this because I put everything in bowls and then we just transferred it all to bags. So I have 100 dirty bowls in everything that I prepped. It's awesome.
Dishes will be fun. Do you have a dishwasher?
Yes, thank God.
Okay. These are gonna stay in their own bag. They aren't gonna be added to anything in this recipe. So they will stay in their own bag, the chips once they're crunched. So you can seal it. The cheese is gonna go in its own medium bag. It's 6 ounces, so I think you will need a medium bag, not a snack bag. Now, ounces versus grams. So this is 270 grams, which is 9 ounces, so it's too big. I mean, what's a little extra cheese, but. There we go. So 6 ounces is 180 grams.
So you said the cheese and the chips are staying separate in this one?
Yes, so your cheese will be in a medium bag by itself, and the chips will be in a bag by itself.
I'm leaving that for day of.
Yeah, so
What was
once we combine
Three.
stuff into the large bag with the chicken, we'll put all 3 bags in a bigger bag.
Which one were we gonna use sun chips for, Bobby?
That was probably
that
gonna
the-
be the chicken tender one, I think.
Yeah, chicken tenders. So the Sun chips were 2 for $10. So I bought the onion and the cheese. And then I opened them right before bedtime and I made my kids try them. And I said, okay, which one do you like? Because one will be for your lunches every once in a while, and one is going to turn into chicken tenders. They chose the cheese ones for their lunch can and the onion ones for the chicken tenders.
That makes sense.
And I'm gonna do the cheese ones for the chicken tenders. Cause that was all they had. But I think ours was 2 for 8 or 2 for 9. So I got a deal there.
There you go.
Without having Superstore. That's my big deal. Okay. I'm back on track. I think I'm cutting cilantro.
Okay, so I'm putting cheese in the bag. And then we're gonna deal with the big bag of chicken. So if you're doing cilantro, you're gonna have a cup of cilantro chopped in the big bag with chicken.
Okay.
So chop it, Shannon, and then throw it directly in the trash.
It's not kale, Bobby. Oh God, it smells so good.
Crystal,
Your
you're
brother-
like, are you team cilantro, Crystal, or not team cilantro?
Oh, she's concentrating.
She is.
Crystal, are you team cilantro? Or no? All right. Woohoo!
Split 50-50. I'll have to ask the other Shannon when she watches. All right, there's my cheese. There's my chips. No cilantro. And I'm gonna add just 2 tablespoons of Southwest seasoning and 1 tablespoon of canola oil to my chicken. And that's it.
Okay, hang on, I gotta catch up here. Cilantro.
So Shannon, funny story. I tried to make homemade salsa once. So I went to the internet like everybody does and I Googled a recipe for fresh salsa because Mexi's makes my favorite salsa in the world. And so I bought all the ingredients and I chopped it all, used my food processor. I had a whole thing full of homemade fresh salsa. One of the ingredients was cilantro. I dipped 1 chip in, I took a bite, and I went on Facebook and asked anybody if they wanted it because I was throwing it out.
Aw.
Oh no.
See, I'll eat it in salsa.
In this particular recipe, all I tasted was soap. I was like, something has gone seriously wrong in this.
You know,
I
we
think
had
it
it,
has to
we
be-
went to Disneyland and we were just in the right environment and it was pico and it was so good. But you know what? At the beginning, I had to want something with it in it. You know what I mean? It couldn't just appear. And we've grown to love it.
I
Mhm.
also feel like it has to be fresh. The second that it's not fresh, it really gets that taste to it. So like if you are getting like fresh and like using it the same day or the next day, I think you're good. But it is definitely an acquired taste. All right, so mix the seasoning and the oil up. And you could use, it doesn't have to be canola oil, like you could use an avocado oil, you could use whatever type of cooking oil that you use. All it does is it creates the marinade on the chicken with the seasoning. So once you have that all kneaded, you just put the chicken at the bottom of the largest Ziploc bag. And then your cheese and your chips go on top. All in one bag. And you're done. And then we're down to 2. And the last one, the broccoli cheddar soup, doesn't take much time.
Oh, look, it's red and green. It's Christmas colors. No?
Too soon, too soon. My daughter has asked for a fish for Christmas. I'm like, oh, like Finding Nemo, like a stuffy? No, she wants a fish. I don't know where this came from. We have a dog, we have a cat. We don't need a fish.
Goldfish are okay. You just have to be prepared for the day you're cleaning the bowl and you leave the goldfish in the margarine container and water and you have breakfast and you go back and the fish is gone and the only place it could have gone was down the drain.
So you have to go and find one that looks identical to it and replace it right away. All right,
Oh,
chicken tenders.
my cilantro stuck at the top of my bag.
You need chicken. You need an egg. That's what the eggs were, Jen.
Yeah, I know. I'll go get another one. I should have saved that one for the dog's supper, but oh well.
Bell pepper. Garlic and herb.
Oh, the spice, not a pepper. Okay.
No, bell pepper and herb, garlic and herb rub, canola oil. And our chips, our whole grain chips, you need an entire bag of whole grain chips. I did the multi-grain rounds. They aren't technically whole grain. They'll do. Yeah, test one, right? So start crushing.
205 grams means I get chips. For later.
You can use a rolling pin, you can use a wine bottle, the meat tenderizer. All these things would crush them nice and finely. Your hands. Okay. So in the bag with your cut chicken tenders, you are going to put your egg. You're going to put 1 tablespoon of the bell pepper and herb. What happened there? I used oil. And a tablespoon of garlic and herb rub. Oh, Shannon, I should have told you when you said that your 1 tablespoon didn't fit into your containers. If you look in the caps of our spices, that first line that you see, so looking in the cap, the first line is a tablespoon. Sorry, it's late.
That's okay. That's neat to know. I've got, I mean, a tablespoon says 15 mils and a teaspoon is 5. So I've just been doing multiply everything by 3.
Yeah,
It's been
so
okay.
if you take your tablespoon and you dump it into your cover, you can see what line I'm talking about. It's not like the second big line, it's like the first smaller line. The second one is 2.
Well, gee, because I just put a tablespoon in here and it almost fills the cap. Do you mean a teaspoon to the first line?
No? Your garlic herb, well, you have all the same bottles. It should be, see how there's 2 lines in there? It should go right to the first one.
The first one from the top edge?
I'm just double checking now, but I did just do it. I know it's almost like my bedtime, but
I know.
no, it sits like perfectly. So like, you see how it's like twisting around the cap?
Yeah.
So that, if you can see where the two lines are, where it's twisting, it should
Mhm.
fill right to the first line.
Okay. Well, maybe I've been using a little extra everywhere.
Well, I also wonder sometimes, depending on measuring spoons, like, it's funny enough, but some will measure liquids different than dry ingredients. But our 1 tablespoon is 15 mils.
Yeah, and that's what my ones say here. Oh well, we're close. It's not baking. We're okay.
All right, so that stuff's in there. And then a tablespoon of canola oil and a tablespoon of water. So the reason we're doing that is we're gonna dump the chips into this bag and we're gonna coat all the chickens with the chips. And you wanna coat them until they're no longer like sticking together. So we're gonna freeze them right in that bag. So you wanna make sure that they're not stuck together when you freeze them, or you're gonna have like chunky chicken strips when you go to cook them. Mm. Okay, so once you've got your chicken well coated in the liquids, add your chips in. And then do the same thing. Takes a little bit more work. Make sure you get the ones that were like in the middle.
This takes shake and bake to a whole new level.
It does. And if you want to make sure that you do have them coated, you could take tongs and you could transfer them to a different bag, just to make sure they are really well coated. But what I just do is I flatten them out to make sure I've gotten it all. So I kind of do that, and then I see that they're evenly coated or not. And then just kind of work the extra chips in if there's any hanging around. And then you want to push it flat to freeze it, and then you won't have a chance of them like really sticking together all too much. It does say to double bag it too. It's just for transfer reasons. And then put your instructions in. Food safety. And then we're on our last one, broccoli cheddar soup, and then we'll have a race to see who can clean up their kitchen faster. No, I'm just joking. We'll end we'll end the recording and you can clean. It's like when you set the timer, 10 minutes, don't do anything else. Don't look at your phone. Don't do like anything but clean your kitchen. And then you get it done really fast. All right.
I'd have been in better shape if I came home at lunch today, but we had Wing Wednesday at work. Because I would have emptied my dishwasher then. Because after getting ready last night, my dishwasher ran when we went to bed and I didn't empty. So I've got clean dishes, dirty dishes, everything is crazy. But it'll be cleaned up before supper's ready, so. Okay.
All right, broccoli cheddar soup it is. I thought I needed an onion, but I guess I don't. So you need 2 large freezer bags and a medium freezer bag, 2 medium carrots, 2 celery stalks, a bag of chopped broccoli, frozen, and 8 ounces of sharp cheddar cheese, bell pepper herb, smoky applewood, and canola oil. So this would be the end of your smoky applewood. I need more broccoli. Okay, in a large bag, peel 2 carrots. It says chop with the food chopper. You can chop them with a knife probably, depending on what size you want them. I would use my Rapid Prep mandolin normally to chop my carrots and my celery. I don't want to dirty another item. So I am going to use my knife and maybe my food chopper since I have it out and it's dirty. Have you all seen the Rapid Prep mandolin? Because if not, I will show it to you.
Can you show us how to use it?
I will.
I have one and I haven't taken it out of the box yet.
Oh, I'm going to peel my carrots first. I also have a full dishwasher. Who here has the veggie peeler from Hamburger Chef? This little guy right here. Did you know that you can go in both directions, up and down? You seeing this? Carrot done at no time. I'll show you again, Shannon. Carrot. Yeah. So I was a consultant. So I've been a consultant for 6 years. And I joined in 2017. I think I found that out in 2020, like 3 years in. I was like, and then I showed my dad because my dad said this is the best peeler for potatoes. And he's a very picky potato peeler. And he was blown away. So I'm like, yeah, we made it.
Well, the only reason I have this one is because the one before this one, I think, was a silver handle. I'm pretty sure it was Pampered Chef and not Epicure. I think it was Pampered Chef. And it disappeared once when my mother was here. And I think it disappeared in, the paper towel with all the cuttings, with all the peels, into the garbage because we couldn't find it. She swore she didn't steal it. And I've never found it at her house. So then I had to get the new one, but I did not know it went both ways.
Mhm.
The guys freak out when I show them that.
If you peel like sweet potatoes, it's really nice to do it that way too. Okay, so this is our wrap to prep mandolin. So it stores all nicely together. It kind of clicks into place when you want to go and store it again. And these are a couple of things that I love about it. So it has 3 different settings on the back. It's got like a slice setting, a thick julienne, and a thin julienne. So your thick julienne would give you like a perfect fry cut. Your thin julienne is if you want to do like really thin veggies for like at the tops of carrots or like soups, things like that. And then slicing, you want to do like sliced carrots, sliced celery, sliced potatoes, like scallop potatoes. A1. There's 8 different settings for thicknesses. It starts at 1, it goes to 8. Each setting represents a millimeter of thickness. So 1 would be like your smallest 1 milliliter. 8 is your largest. And then you're going to notice there's like little hints on what to use. So like if you look at this picture right here, I'm not sure if you can see it. That is the perfect fry cut. So you would put it on thick julienne, and then you would set it to 8, and that's going to give you the perfect size French fry every time. If you have it on thin julienne and 4, that's going to give it like a really small like carrot topper for a salad. If you feed it through twice, it'll dice it. So then a couple of features is I like it because it always has a cover on it. So if the kids are helping, their hands are nowhere near anything, and it locks in place as well. If I open the cover, it unlocks. But the best part is your hand is never by the blade, because you put the bottom catcher on, then you're going to click this pusher in place, and you feed your food in right here. Your hand is never by the blade. So when you push up and down, the blade is going up and down, but you're never going across the blade. So here, I put my carrots in. I like to start feeding it. I should set it. Slice, and I'm gonna go to like a 3. And what I'm gonna do, actually, let's not do slice. Let's do thin julienne, and I might feed it through twice. So I start by holding with my hand. The different size. Oh, and my carrots are different heights. Here we go. So it's given me these little slices of carrots. And then I'm going to, if you wanted them smaller, you could put them smaller. But just these little carrots. And then you do the same thing with your celery. And I would normally do it a lot faster, but I'm trying not to wake up my children. That's your celery. So if you wanted like half moon celery, you would just put it on slice, and you would just slice them. So my celery kind of fell there, so it gave me longer ones. So because I don't want them longer, I'm just gonna feed them through again. And get shorter ones. So then we have our celery and our carrot all chopped. It's dishwasher safe. And then there's these little suction cups on the bottom, so they stick to your counter and don't move. And I just set it back to 0, and you can see there's like little pieces of celery. It comes with a dual-sided cleaning brush, so you can easily clean it. But like it is dishwasher safe, so you can just dump out all your extras into your compost or into your bin. And then throw it in the dishwasher. I normally hand wash it. Okay. So that's that. So Shannon, take it out of the box. Okay, what am I doing here? Large bag. Carrots, celery, frozen broccoli. A tablespoon of bell pepper herb and a tablespoon or whatever you have left of smoky applewood. And then 2 tablespoons of canola oil and mix it all together. I love the smell of the bell pepper rub.
How small is your broccoli?
Pardon?
How small is your broccoli? Like, I'm just wondering if I need to cut it or not.
I just left it in the florets that it was frozen in. I just dumped the whole bag in. When it cooks, because it's gonna be in a soup, it is going to kind of wilt a little bit and get smaller.
They're not very big. Okay.
And then the day of for this one, just as a reminder, you do need milk, a can of cream corn, and vegetable broth and flour. Now, last time I made it, I didn't have cream corn. I just used regular corn. It didn't get as thick as it normally would with cream corn. So this time I'm gonna make sure that I have cream corn. It still tasted real good. So then the last step is just the cheese. So you're gonna grate 8 ounces or 250 grams of cheddar cheese, and that goes in its own bag. The cheese does. So once you're done mixing the veggies, that step's done with that bag.
Okay, honest mistake. Crystal saw me there. I almost picked up the wine and put it in instead of oil because they were sitting right next to each other. Because Michelle said to use the wine bottle, to crush the chips. So I
I
did.
meant pour a bottle of wine, right? If Michelle says, then you must do. If only my students listen that well. All right, 8 ounces cheddar coming up.
So last time, Michelle, we had we've got the what to do now recipes. We've got the ones to put on our bags. So that last workshop I did, then there was kind of the all-in-one one. Do they have those for these ones?
I'll check. I can send it if we do. I can't remember if I have it in my files or not. Like
Yeah.
all of the recipes together. It was in a different font, right?
It was because then it had the ingredients, what to prepare and freeze, and then what to do day of.
All together.
All together. And then I put that on the bag because it was that I'm not hunting for it.
Yeah. See, these little ones have the what to get the day of.
Do they? Okay.
Yeah. So like right here, it's just a different, it's hard to see. Right here at the
Yeah.
top tells you what you need to cook the day of. And then these are the instructions on how to cook it. So it's just like a different format. It doesn't have what to freeze on it.
Yeah.
They were individual sheets this time. But the little sheets is like pages 12 and 13, I think. 13 and 14 from the
I
document.
printed and cut put on them here. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I'm tucking in each bag. All right.
Uh-oh.
You're
What's my
done?
little bag for?
It goes in
That was
your
way at the be-
That's
is
the barbecue one, isn't it?
It's the third of a cup one.
That's the pork, I thought.
Okay, yes, I think so.
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oops. This could be fun.
All right. So I will check to see if they have that file for you. I don't remember seeing it for this workshop. I have all of them, so I will check, but if not, the little cards do the trick. And then the last thing you're gonna do is just pop your veggies in. Pop your cheese in. Take that last card. Stick it in. And you're done. So that one took a little bit longer than some of the other ones do. But I feel like we had more fun. And now you have 7 meals prepared to go into the freezer. So what I would love is that when you do make one, if you make one, if you're not in my VIP group, join my VIP group. I'll put the link in our little chat. But also if you can take like a picture of it and just share it in the freezer meal group that you joined or in my VIP group, either one, just to show people how great they are. I would appreciate it. Do you guys have any questions? No?
That was awesome. The one in my oven looks great.
What are you making? The lemon garlic one? You did all that one.
The lemon Greek chicken, but without potatoes, because I pulled my potatoes out and they're all spotty.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think I'll just make rice. But it looks fabulous. Here, I'll take it down. It's supper time, and why not, right?
I just realized I have to make my daughter's lunch. Ugh. Oh,
Look
that's
at that. Mm,
yeah.
Yeah.
So there's like 6 different freezer meals that I have all the recipe for and all the spices for. They're a little dated in the sense that we've discontinued some of the spices in them. So you'll see like I do make supplements for as best as we can for what we have. And yeah, I like to offer them once a month. So if you're ever interested, just let me know. And if you ever need any products, I did put all of the spice orders under Shannon's name. So it's like her party that the spice orders went under. So if you are looking to get anything and you're like, who can I help out? That girl right there. She's building some host
who
rewards.
wants something? Bobby, Crystal, my other friend Shannon.
My other Shannon. All right, so I'll leave you at that. I'm gonna set my timer. I'm gonna clean my kitchen, make my daughter's lunch, and I'm going to bed. Because my son likes to wake up
Thank-
at, if it's 6 o'clock, I find that's like what we call him sleeping in.
Thank
Yeah.
you very much, Michelle.
Thank
You're
you.
very welcome. Thank you for joining.
Mhm.
That was fun. Thank you.
Have a good one. See ya.
See ya.